ever pop the Mari, but if I ever catch Mac, I'ma pop a Holly. I don't even rob a cop the Harley. Blowing so much green, I shame Marley. Yeah, I push the line to its full limit. Hit the hole like 22, boy, I'm a young Emmett. Nothing go like snow, now that's a cold image. Still whistling, sending, knocking them white women. Only reason I do it to avenge image. To the day they go before they box me out. Knowing me, it don't matter, I simply take my route. On my hobby.
Where's? Can y'all hear me? Bang that one if y'all can hear me. One in the chat if y'all can hear me. Bang that like button on y'all way in. Where's? Spirit Wonder, salute. You know what I'm saying? Southern Force, salute. I got you too, Southern Force. Don't even trip. I'm dropping it. All right, so y'all can hear me. I'm making sure that y'all can hear me. Salute to the Blue Ridge Mob, always on their job. Welcome to the Damu Kiwe Conversations, home of the West Coast. The voice of the culture. It's Duse M's the Dime. We right back at it, just like a crack at it. A nice show for y'all today, man. I hope y'all really enjoy this, and I hope that y'all can really learn. We're going to talk about the South Central Los Angeles Martin Luther King parade turns to a gangbang riot. One casualty. Somebody lost their life. And we going to cook. Let's wait till we get past 5 minutes because I don't want to be demonetized if I lose it. You know what I'm saying? Because this really infuriates me, right? Because, man, that's crazy. I got tears in my eyes and so much hurt. Mike B, salute. Salute from the loop. Salute, everybody. Salute to Southern Force for always putting that work in, jumping in that passenger side. I'm a gang slide. He gonna jump up out and do his stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, a little tear. Ed Bell, salute, man. Salute Duse M and the family. Free the big OGU. Praying for you, homie, for the 318 Sweetport, Louisiana, man. Thank you, G-Mac. Damu Kiwe Conversation is always hitting upside the head with the realest content ever. Welcome, and please subscribe. Then lace your chucks and stay active. You know what I'm saying? Hey, G, that's how G-Mac really be talking, too. Like a straight G. You know what I'm saying? So lace your chucks. Stay active. You know what I'm saying? Megan Davis. Hey, La Monte. Hey, Megan Davis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, y'all bang that like button, man, on y'all way in. Make sure you tell a friend Dominique Mayweather. What up, bro? Money Grip, first and foremost. Rest in paradise to my dad. He passed away this morning at 8:07 a.m. I am so sad to hear that you're going through that. Money Grip, condolences and prayers to you, your family, and loved ones as y'all mourn. And I'm quite sure he will want you to continue living your best life to your fullest capacity. I don't know nowhere better than what we finna talk about today. So I hope that the show meets your standards and that you made the right decision to be here and join us. And I hope it takes you away from mourning just for an hour or two. But that mourning process isn't a day or a couple hours or weeks. It's something that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life because he's a part of you. He helped shape and form who you are. So even though his physical vehicle is transmutating, all of the dust must return to the dust, his spirit, his energy of expression will continue to live through you. Salute to you, Money Grip, man. Prayers to you and your family. Bang that like button, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know what I'm saying? So salute to Damu Kiwe Conversations. Real ones with real content. The revolution is televised. We are the revolution. Black power. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. And I think that you got to continue to remind them of that. And I'm quite sure that my content usually does that. But you know, sometimes we just bring content and it be BS and we can lose our way. Some of the people might forget what we stand for over here. King Crook, when are these gangbangers just going to get this shit up? Honestly, it brings nothing positive, nothing. I beg to differ, King Cook. You know what I'm saying? I believe you looking at somebody. Well, I'm not a gangbanger, so maybe you're right. Gang banging doesn't bring too much positive. I thought you meant gang, period. With gang banging, I take that back. I totally agree with you, King Crook. Besides the organizational skills that people learn, they say if you can run a gang, you can run a Fortune 500 company, right? That's something that's positive or can be used positive if directed in the right direction. The structure, right? Self accountability and disciplinary actions. These things help build up character, right? But in a world where a lot of Black males have been incarcerated and aren't there through the raising of these children, teaching them structure is futile if they're ever going to have a chance to become something or to reach their full potential. So there are things that the gangs do provide that are positive, but today in 2026, I'd say probably 90% of what they provide is negative, false, misleading, manipulative, backbiting, snake, fuck shit. I made it past 5 minutes. Fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Miss Inglewood, what up? Fresh always. What's good, Duse M, the Southern Force? You know, we gonna get into it.
Salute.
We gonna get into it. Vlad got neck bone on there to protect Reggie because Keefe D told on him. Whoa, Deuce, my brother, Muddy Waters. Salute to everybody that's in here. Bang that like button on y'all way in. Stone to the bone, SS, east to the west, BPS Nation, FHN 59, New York City to LA. That's a fact, bro. And that kind of structure, just look at what he said, right? And this is part of the problem, but it could also be part of the solution, right? East to the west, Black Peace Stone Nation. So when you see BPS Nation, you're talking about Chicago. Right? But Chicago had a branch when T. Rogers moved to California and started City Stone Bloods, and then later moved to the jungles and got that territory, and they formulated Black Peace Stones. They still represent the Black Peace Stone Nation and the 5-Point Star. So those type of ties is something, a whole nother structure. You talk about the 5-Point Star in Chicago, Latin Kings, Four Corner Hustlers, El Rookins, Vice Lords, Insane Vice Lords, right? Conservative Vice Lords, right? All of that connection, distant relatives, right? All up under structure. Saluting Free Jeff Fort. We ain't never gonna forget you. Free Jeff Fort, right? A political prisoner right now who has completed all of his jail time. It's 30 years for trying to buy RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, from who he believed Gaddafi sent to do them. All along, it was an FBI sting. There was no Gaddafi in the trade. They set him up and locked him up, and because of the Patriot Act, even though he's completed his time and sentence, he remains a threat to society, a threat to the government. And that's why he's still underground in ADX Florence. But back to what I was saying, then he said FHN, for those who don't know, that's Fruitown brand, right? Harvard Park brand, Van Ness brand, and Fine Nine brand. So that's LA Fruitown brands, 6 Deuce 6164 brim, and Van Ness Gangster brim, Rolling 50 brims, and then Fine Nine in San Diego. Those are some more ties. You talk about Fine Nine brims, shout out to Cardi B, right? You talking about New York. You talking about Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, right? Texas, Alabama. All of these sets are in over 41 states. Sounds like a little bit of organization, right? Well, this government targets organization now. I'm not saying that these guys have the best intentions. Everybody comes in the game with their own intentions. Sometimes it's clout, it's fame, it's power, it's money, it's girls, whatever it is, brotherhood. People join these associations and groups and organizations for their own reasons. But for the brother who said that these gangbangers do nothing positive, I definitely disagree. There's few things they do positive, but that type of organizational skills and unity is one thing. So salute to the brother Stone to the Bone, 5'5". I definitely understand the positivity in that, but it looks like we 180-degree turn from where we started, what we started out as, and it's time to restructure these organizations which are separated, right? Different chains of command, and turn them from where back to the original political, ideological organizations that's for our communities, not criminal organizations. We never started like the mafia, right? We never started like the Mexican mafia. You understand what I'm saying? We started out because our community, well, we'll get to all of that. Let's get to the content though. Bang the like button. Bang the like button. We finna get to this. Shout out Dream Foreign, Never Living Life Born. When he do it, you know it's gonna be hilarious too, with his sense of humor. Good guy, man. Fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Go run that up. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed, and hit that like button.
All these cops around. Evidently, they just stood around and watched it happening.
Rolling 20 Bloods, his title. Rolling 20 Bloods and Black Peace Stones have huge riot involving the Crips 2026.
And shout out to the homie Dream Foreign, man.
Hey, man, what's happening? It's your boy Dreaming Foreign, Never Living Life Born.
I Dream Foreign. Funny dude. I F for this content.
Man, I'm telling y'all, man.
So I do want to give the guy called Dream Foreign TV and
Dream Foreign.
What time it is? I'm out here with Dream Foreign.
Just want to shout out Dream Foreign TV, kid.
Randy, you the illest.
Bang that like button if you're just coming in.
Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Dreaming Foreign, and I'm Never Living Life Born. You got the Rolling 20 Bloods, the BPS, the City Stones, the Jungle Stones, Fruitown Brims, Rolling 30s, and the Rolling 40s having an annual scrimmage. Now, these two communities are right adjacent towards each other, and they've been beefing since the 70s. Now, the BPSs and the 20 Bloods and the Brims, they're close knit. And within recent years, the Rolling 30s and the Rolling 40s Crips, they definitely.
So he's 100% right. Fruit Harvard Ness and the BPS, that's what the dude had put in the chat. Very close-knit and share a lot of the same enemies, primarily neighborhood Crips and the Harlem 30 Crips. Rolling 40s are neighborhood Crips, if you don't know. Rolling 30s aren't neighborhood Crips, but they're very familiar and friendly with them. What they say, 30 to the hundreds. So that's rolling 30 Crip, rolling 40 Crip, rolling 50s, which is Crip mechanism. And ODM Slim. Shout out ODM Slim. 5555758. 6-7 neighborhood Crip. Menlo Crip. Keep going. You're going to get to 111 neighborhood Crip. The UGs, the block Crips. You got a plethora of neighborhood Crip, hard time hustler Crip throughout Los Angeles to the east side, East Coast Crip. Most of those, except I think the 190s and the 11-8s are neighborhood Crips. All of the East Coasters from First Street to the 190 are neighborhood Crips, except 190 East Coast and 11-8. Those are block Crips, right? 11-8 East Coast block Crip. And it's a whole bunch of more, right? The Harlem Crips primary, that's right next to where I'm from. Shout out Papa Dirt if he in the chat. Those right where I grew up, those were the rival enemies. So this is my neck of the woods. This is a community I've been familiar with since I was born. It's the same community that my father grew up in. Gang sliding up to Lauren Miller. I know them people. I know them people's families that aren't gang members because I frequent those areas. The jungles, the exact same thing. I know them people, right? City Stone, I know them. Six Deuce Brims, I know them. The VNs, I'm going to pull up over 30-some years, hundreds of times. So I'm very familiar, and then we go to functions together. Shout out to Inglewood, because that's behind, that's really the west side of South Central. Same gang ties, same gang enemies. The Harlem Crips, by them being, they like some real Crips. They don't really look for beef with other Crip sets because they're still caught up in the old school blood and Crip war. They're surrounded by the Black Pea Stones, the Fruittown Brims, and the Rolling 20 Bloods on their borderline. And then the other side is the 40s. So Dream Foreign says recently the 40s and the 30s have got real close. He's saying that because they used to beef. I don't remember what year it was, 94, 95, 96. One of those King parades, the 40s and the Harlems had a big old melee. See, this King parade violence isn't nothing new. If you're born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, it's an annual tradition, and it's going to happen. So I know it might be shocking to y'all with the new installment of the internet and people showing you that, but let you talk about since 94, I was 14, 15 years old, 15, 16 years old. Every year it's been demonstrations, riots, fights, and all of this. You know what I'm saying? But this one, somebody, we just got word, they texting me reporting that one of the brothers, one of the dudes on one of the sides lost his life. So we dealing with a problem, but the 40s and the 30s no longer beef with each other, and that's what Dream Foreign is accurately educating y'all on. Let's go.
Close net with each other. Now, just like any year, you had many of blacks celebrating. You even have 4 extras out there celebrating with the kids. And then you had also other members and other people that were involved actually celebrating the birth of Martin Luther King. That's what it's supposed to be. But in every city, in every state, there's 2 rival gangs that collide and meet with each other. And in LA, it's pretty normal for the Rolling 30 and the 20 Bloods and the Brims to collide with each other, especially with a couple of City Stones and Jungle Stones being in that fight as well. Now, the sickest thing to me, but very normal in Los Angeles, the police watch these 2 dudes, these 2 groups, almost slaughter each other, and they're laughing, pointing, even ha-ha, kikiing. Now, that's the footage I'm finna drop so you guys can understand that the policeman don't give a fuck about us. But I want y'all to go ahead and watch this clip so y'all can catch my drift. I want you to pay attention on how the police is smiling right here just laughing. I'm gonna run it back. You can see it's a clear brawl right in front of them, and they just laughing, looking back, like watching these niggas just hurt themselves on the day it's supposed to be their day.
Southern Force, I want you to speak on this. What goes through your mind when you see these dudes fighting? They're only doing what they were taught to do and what we sensationalized and bragged on when niggas like me told war story. So I'm as guilty as anybody for this behavior, right? But when the police is laughing and they're standing there while an actual miniature riot, gang members is going on, and they stand back laughing.
Well, it's about pretty much the same thing they do in Oak Cliff and Dallas, man. They'll sit back and watch you beat the shit out of each other and shoot each other. I mean, a lot of people and where I'm from in Oak Cliff, shit, the cops don't come until after the shooting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they want us to. It's like the system. This goes to show you and prove that the system is set up for us to do harm to each other, and we need to find out a way to mend that shit up, man. Because as you can tell, these motherfucker, man, these fucking supremacies are just looking at us like amusement, and while we're hurting ourselves, harming each other, causing more rage towards our fucking self. There's strength in numbers, and if we keep this shit up, that's all we're gonna be, is forever entertainment in real life.
Hey, bro, I don't even gotta respond after that, because so far everything you said, you just stopped me from to it. But we'll get more into it at the end with my conclusion.
Hey,
let's go.
And you seeing this happen, and they're not trying to engage or stop anything. They just letting it happen, watching us slaughter each other like animals. A man's being assaulted in front of them, they could prevent it, but they refuse to help him, and they only worried about their colleagues and their partners. I believe that's a lieutenant right there, basically telling his co-workers, saying to fall back. Now, they could prevent somebody getting hurt and injured, but unfortunately today, a man got allegedly stabbed, and it's probably something they could have prevented, but they watch these two groups go at it with each other.
From Lamert Park, where the LAPD is investigating a stabbing.
The scene is not far from where the MLK parade ended just a few hours ago.
Well, Glenn and Lou, this started with large groups of people fighting here near Crenshaw, near Lamert Park. As I zoom in here now, we see a large response by LAPD. But again, a 40-year-old man.
This is disgusting, right?
Yeah.
There's in Los Angeles, forget the Crenshaw district. Lamert Park is historically the most wealthiest in South Central Los Angeles, Black historical area in all of LA. And where we own the most housing, businesses, everything Black. And this is where they at. And this is what's going on Martin Luther King's celebration of his life and what he stood for. Yeah, this shit is disgusting.
And stabbed in unknown condition, rushed to a hospital at this point.
So a man in his 40s was stabbed and rushed to the hospital. There's no condition on his actual status. We pray that he has a speedy recovery and he survives his wounds. Now, what just baffled me, but also not surprising, that the LA police just don't give a fuck, and they just laugh every single year when the Martin Luther King Day parade starts. They be hoping that these niggas get into it. But that's not only in LA, that's in every city all across America, especially involving Blacks. But hey, y'all leave y'all thoughts and opinions in the comment section, man. But until next time, it's your boy Dreaming Foreign, and I'm never living life boring.
Guy got jumped by some people with all these cops around. Evidently, they just stood around and watched it happening.
I don't know who need to hear this. When you go to fighting for your own life, dog, and they can't benefit off it, oh my God. They go to showing you how they really feel about it. Well, success aggravates people that's failing, bro.
Yeah, man. Dream Foreign TV, man. Salute to him. Yeah, I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
Y'all do know that taxpayers pay millions of dollars for a King parade, for any parade. They're paying millions of dollars to the police department to stop this type of situation from escalating, especially around their kids, right? Grandparents, parents, kids are out there because there was a parade. You got 4 extras out there who, whether you like it or not, at this point is a public figure, right? He out there turning up with the kids. And you're going to have the radio station, you're going to have floats, and they're going to go down Martin Luther King Boulevard. So they allocate certain amount of tax dollars to make sure that they secure this type of situation. And we just seen what they did with our tax dollars. So now it's starting to really look like we're paying them to do nothing, right? Really, what we need to do, we need to stop paying them, and we need to build up our own enforcement. So I talked to a couple of the brothers out there. I talked to a couple of the brothers that was actually there, right? And they had grid workers that were trying to get to where the fight was at to cease it. They had already talked to them. Oh yes, to the 40s. Salute, congratulate y'all on securing y'all first big RICO indictment. Let's start there, right? Y'all, the 40s are over there with little to no good leadership. Whoever's driving is crashing the whip on YouTube in front of the world. Real good way to lead the troops. See, a real general always positions his troops in the best position to win. You think a RICO indictment, gang allegations, assaults, violence, then they've caught like 4 or 5 people with guns too, right? Caught them with guns. Now somebody just lost their life. Y'all think that LA City Hall, they don't really give a shit about us, but they give a shit about them fringe benefits that come with them being city council, mayors, right? The mistress they got on the side, right? Being able to take private jets, having a lot of people want to donate to their wives' charity. See, they care about that. So y'all think that they're going to allow y'all to do this and publicly humiliate and expose that they don't give a fuck about what's going on over there, that they didn't have an issue with the police standing by while it's continued in multiple places simultaneously. Nah, the hammer coming down. You best believe that. So they had Muslims who were trying to get out there, right? They were trying to talk sense into them because they had already had the grid workers. They had already talked to some of the old dudes. See, these grid workers, these old dudes that's faking like they somebody get exposed because they afraid of these YNs. See, these YNs don't have no respect for their elders, and rightfully so in most instances. You old niggas took advantage of young niggas in jail when they were young. You young niggas taught them niggas to survive. And they survived with prison sentences, post-traumatic stress, without retirement plan. And those ones that were loyal, that hung around, began to educate these kids. Yeah, I remember the King Parade. Blood, we did this, that. We socked out the oppositions and this and this and that. Glorifying all of the negative bullshit that we had to do for survival, but we didn't explain why we had to do it for survival. We made it look like it was just the cool thing to do. That shit was never cool to me. I understood the assignment and the job. You understand? I understood the job and I did it well. And we're going to get into that later. A lot of you gang members, you got children. You abandoned. You went to jail like me. What I say, I might be the most known blood, but a poor excuse for a dad. Like me. My son was yet born. He was still in his mama's when I go to the feds for 10 years. I got visits. First 7 years, me and my ex-wife, she came weekly, right? Until we got divorced. But that's not the same as being there when he rides his first bike, when he takes his first steps, when kids are bullying him at school. Decisions I made directly affected his life because I wasn't there to guide, support, protect. And I'm not the only one, right? I'm not there to instill what needed to be instilled to help his transition and evolution into a young man, from a boy to a young man, from a young man to a teen, from a teen into a manhood. I failed. I gotta own that shit. These old niggas claiming that they OGs gotta own that shit. Y'all failed. And I'm not saying all of y'all was ill-intentioned, though I believe myself, I believe like 85% of you old niggas was ill-intentioned, because y'all don't even understand what it was about. Thank God for my big homies, Catnip, Luke the Duke, rest in peace, Big Angel, the Millers, for teaching me at a young age, for caring enough at a young age of explaining all of this shit to me. That's where I got my understanding from, and we're going to go into it. You know what I'm saying? But those young dudes, you grow them up and you teach them how to survive. You teach them the importance of retribution. A lot of people who are non-affiliates going to be like, why doesn't the violence just stop? Because somebody's son got killed. Somebody's brother got killed. Somebody's best friend got killed. Somebody's nephew got killed. And we don't believe that these same pigs who just showed us they don't give a fuck about our kids is going to do anything to bring justice. In fact, we don't believe in their kind of justice. We believe in community justice. Right? So, and the cycle continues on and on and on and on. Since the Crips killed Black Jesus from Brink. They killed Black Jesus. It started back, fights, chains, bats, zip guns. Then they killed Lil Country. And it started a war. The formation of the first Crip killing coalition. The Brims, organization I'm from. The G homies I just named, including Big Country, Pumpkin, Tony Lucian, and others. And they said we're going to get with all of the other Black organizations that stand against the oppression of our own, that stand against jumping of the Black people, and we're going to fight the Crips. The Brims, one of the biggest organizations in that time, in 68, 69, 70. bigger than the Crips were. The Crips were just getting big. Half of them laid down their flags. And the reason they laid down their flags, because they foreseen where the fuck we at right now. Crips moved into a lot of that territory. You go through the Rolling 40s, that was Brim Hood. Bottles Hoover, that was Brim Hood. They didn't take that by force. Half of the Brims laid their flags down because they didn't start as a black-on-black organization. In fact, if you had a problem with somebody from another club or organization, you got it from the shoulders, one-on-one. Kind of how you earned your name. The Crips was a little bit different. The fucked up part, the homies that laid their flag down were right. That's what this is evidence of. They were right. 60 years, we're coming on 60 years later. These little boys ain't wrong. They're in survival mode. They're doing only thing they were taught. You seen the youngest dude, he was about 11. They watched their friends be unalived from tribes right across the street, the 40s, the Hardems. They're not wrong for doing the only thing that the old niggas did teach them. Because them old niggas didn't know how to teach them nothing else but how to survive. So there's a resentment, generation divide. So we can continue to blame these little niggas. The police is going to blame. One thing for sure, two things for certain. A black boy or a black man in America is always going to be held accountable. The system going to do it. Our sisters going to do it. Everybody holds the black man accountable. So we ain't got to worry about where they were wrong with that. Cameras everywhere. Too much gang activity. The Fed's been indicting every hood from hood to hood, and these little niggas went out here and crashed in front of the world. Like an indictment ain't gonna come. Like an indictment ain't gonna come. What's worse? DC Baby Draco was at JG, Jim Gilliam, if you'd ever been there, right? The park in the jungles, right? All of the homies that's whooping pulled up. Big B team. I don't even want to get into that footage. And he's recording everything.
Wait a minute. What?
He's recording everything.
So it's basically what the fuck we've been saying every time when they all go into no jumper, they get recruited. Is that where we're going with this?
I'm believing that's what's going on. See, first and foremost, an assault is a crime. I mean, we grow up throwing punches, gang members. We usually ain't gonna press charges. Yeah, we usually ain't gonna press charges. But when the feds come in, it's something different, right? Because these are overt acts as part of a criminal enterprise. Oh, they're crimes that the state usually wouldn't prosecute. That's why I believe the police stood back. I believe that the feds told them, stand down. Let them have at it. Everything's on camera. It's cameras on King and Crenshaw. It's cameras on the bank, on Vernon and Crenshaw and Lamert Park. Then they got walkie cameras, bras, and everybody thinking it's the coolest shit to put online. They're going to gather all of that open source intel. And DC Baby Draco got a first-hand glimpse of it. Let me get to some of this video, and we're going to get up into it, and then I'm going to get into the history, right? Hey, Duse, them old dudes was kids themselves when they laid down instructions, so we could say a lot of our understanding was prematurely made by some kids, and the cycle continues affecting the kids. Bro, you're 100% right. That's why I said they only could teach us what they knew, and only thing they could teach us was how to survive. This is how you get steal a car so you can go back. You know, now you know how to get a G-Rod. You ain't got no gun. Oh, girl, y'all fucking with dad and security. You next time you slide up over there and bang her out, leave the window open so the little homies can climb in and look for his 38 special, right? Then this is how you get a set. Hey, look, don't be walking through the hood without no burner. Y'all got to troop through the set. That's all they can teach you. How to make knives when you get to the county jail. That's all they can teach you. And it's not that they wish they couldn't teach you more. Our whole race, not all of our race, but a majority of our race is still stuck in survival mode. Let me get to this some of these videos, man, because I want to. Damn, they removed my video on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So there it go. I ain't gonna show none of that because they're gonna end up doing that. Those Bloods were invited to the neighborhood and the police let them wreak havoc. Yeah, the feds was there. What? You think they wasn't? Listen, bro.
Hell yeah.
Open source, look in Big U paperwork, and they talk about all of the online intel they gather. It's called open source intel. That's what WAC 100 does. That's what these niggas, Poetic Flocko and all of these niggas are doing. They're providing open source, documenting it online so the police can have access to it. And they probably got to deal with Google to help push their YouTube pages so they get more views. And those narratives go viral and stick in people's subconscious, poisoning jury pools before you're ever even charged. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a cold motherfucking game. So I would just let the psyop play out because the police were clearly involved. Bro, play out. It's already played out. Bro, these Ricos are going, the Olympics coming. First, let me, for those who aren't from California or Los Angeles, the Olympics are coming. So if you've been around long enough, the last time the Olympics was in Los Angeles was 1984 at the LA Coliseum in the sports arena. That's across the street from where I grew up most of my life, bro. We could walk there from my house, hop the gate through USC and be at the Coliseum in about 5 minutes walking, right? So this is right where it's up. This is this area. King Boulevard, Martin Luther King Boulevard in Vermont is right here. You get to Menlos, to Coliseum, you get to to Figueroa. It's where the sports arena was at. Before that happened, they had started the War on Drugs campaign. Y'all know how many people went to the feds in 84, 85, 86, 87, 88 because of the boom from the crack epidemic? They cleaned the streets up. The war on gangs, war on drugs. Just so y'all know, all of those wars is code word for the black community. The niggas. They didn't attack the Nicaraguans that was bringing it over, getting caught with diesels full of cocaine. They was letting them go because they were working with the CIA to fund the overthrowing of the Sandinista government. Congress refused to do it because they were just coming up off of Vietnam. The people didn't want war no more, so they refused to fund it. Reagan, George H.W. Bush, they did it. But anyway, they cleaned the streets up Everybody was going to jail, being arrested, sent to the pen. Sent to the pen. Well, I think his legs sleep. He was over there sleeping on his bed. But sent to the pen, and that's what's going to happen there. But not only just because of that, look at what they're doing, the money they're bringing. Football team, billion-dollar organizations, the Rams, the Chargers, the Clippers, their new stadium. You already got the Lakers, the Dodgers. Y'all think that they're going to permit you guys where y'all was at right now was maybe, so this is Crenshaw, y'all on Crenshaw. If y'all take the quickest way to get to Inglewood and the Forum would be Florence. So you're saying Vernon and King and Crenshaw. So you go Vernon, the next big street's 54th. The next big street be Gage. Well, Gage isn't on Crenshaw. The next big street be Florence, and then Slauson, and then Florence. So you go up Florence, so you say about a mile up Crenshaw, make a right, West Boulevard is there. Once you cross West Boulevard, you're in Inglewood. Where these stadiums at? Where the rent is skyrocketing, and they're getting niggas and the immigrants too. They're getting niggas and Mexicans up out of there because that's prime real estate. Just in that area right there, you're about 7 minutes from LAX. You just drove a mile from South Central, so you're about 12 minutes from LAX, where people flying in for the game to play at the casino. So there's so many issues that we got to do. That right there is a slap in our faces saying, Eminem, you're responsible for this shit happening. This is to say every one of you so-called original Young Gangsta Bloods or OGs are responsible for these young niggas. Because you niggas have aided and supported them into this lifestyle, and y'all left them without structure. Y'all left them to fend for self. Imagine one of them old niggas going to tell them young niggas, hey, homie, don't do that, homie. That ain't the business. What? Nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, you ain't gave me no guns. These niggas coming through shooting at a nigga with extended dicks and shit, nigga. You didn't give a fuck if I lived to see the next day. Nigga, you think you can tell me some shit? Nigga, YGs run the street, nigga. The IGs run the street. And I get it. In fact, I commiserate with them. Because if you niggas want to point the finger at anybody, you got to point the finger at yourself, because not one of you niggas is out there. Shout out to the grid workers. Shout out to the Muslims. Because those brothers were trying to intervene. They tried to negotiate so this wouldn't happen. Right? Shout out to them. Those that did try to intervene, try to put the fire out. So I'm not talking to the grid workers. I'm not talking to the intervention workers who tried to stop this, who tried to negotiate. Now, if you're an intervention worker, and obviously you're from any one of those sections that were involved in that, Brims, 20s, Blackstone, 40s, Harlem, and your little homies was in there, they need to fire you now. You should never get another motherfucking check, because if y'all participated in gang violence while supposed to be gang interventionists, you Negroes just gave the police and City Hall the reason they needed to cut the money that they're paying to intervention workers and paying to the LAPD. See, if you wasn't giving that money to them niggas, to them gangbangers, and y'all gave us the money, we were right there. We could have stopped it. So now y'all finna take more jobs out of our community. Y'all don't understand. Y'all really don't understand for every action, there's a reaction. And this ain't gonna be a good reaction, bro.
Yeah, this is fucked up, man. I'm gonna add something else onto this. Now, I hear everybody talking about, oh yeah, we don't want soldiers, we don't want ICE agents, and yada 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 yada, shit like that. When you do shit like this, you do nothing but give them a reason to send them ICE agents as a faulty ass excuse to so-called claim that, oh, we was apprehending immigrants and really doing some old slick ass racist shit. This is what triggers all that bullshit, that supremacy, because we're sitting up there and dwindling our own numbers with that dumb shit. And I don't know where the fuck the OGs was, and how the fuck you gonna call yourself OGs and you're not there to make a presence, there to make an influence. I don't fucking get mad at now motherfucking YN, because a lot of these OGs, they'll just sit back and watch shit happen, and then expecting them to give them the respect and the fucking honor. That's not how you do that shit. You do that shit by getting active. Not necessarily doing some criminal activity, but you get active in your fucking community. And that's what fucking young cats respect. So I don't want to hear no bullshit talking about, oh yeah, these YNs don't respect me. What have you did to get fucking active?
Right.
It don't make no fucking sense. That title should be stripped because you ain't did shit. Right. Just took from your fucking community. I don't want to hear no bullshit talking about, oh man, these YNs. Nah, what have you done? Because a lot of YNs respect OGs that really get active in the community. Like, you can have some YNs do some stuff in a situation. You got an activity going on with the kids and stuff. You can easily walk to them and say, look out, man. We got some stuff going on with the kids and stuff. Respectfully, I know y'all doing your thing. Do what you do. But if y'all can just move to the side. But because you're active, because they see you do this shit all the time with your community and with your tribe and your fucking people, guess what they do? They said, man, you don't respect OG. And they move it around. But if you're not an OG that don't do that shit and not active in your fucking community, how the fuck you expect for the YNs to respect you? Respect your leadership. Respect your movement. Don't make no sense, dudes. It don't.
Neezy Cobb, yeah, we grew up in the same neck of the woods then, you know what I'm saying? I'm born and raised over there. The Crips of that resident area were not allowed to cross over to the parade. Absolutely depends on the situation too, but I agree the OGs that did is that it was incorrect. Rezzo's Olympics, they care more about facts. They have a system where the parent, OG, leader, influencer is set up to fail. We discipline these kids, that's a crime. We let them discipline our kids, it's a crime. Bro, hey, this is the conundrum. But the cold thing is, we got to fight. Just like we fought against each other, we got to fight for our kids, bro. We got to fight and go through whatever it's going to take. We can't give up. You know what I'm saying? We can't give up. The 40s was infiltrated, for sure. Except Skip Townsend, he tried yesterday. Shabazz Charles said Skip Townsend tried. Well, Skip Townsend ain't got no say-so then. Because I guarantee you, first and foremost, Skip Townsend, you too old, bro. Respectfully. Your service was respected and for the time you did in the generations. But this new generation, you too far removed from them. Bro, soldiers don't respect paper pushers that do paperwork way out in the States while they in the trenches in Vietnam, nigga. They respect them sergeants, them buck sergeants, them colonels and corporals that they put in work with. So if you ain't in the trenches with these young niggas, they don't give a fuck what you did 40 years ago, nigga. I mean, it's good that you did. They're going to respect you, but you're not going to have influence to tell them nothing unless they see you in the trenches on the block with them every day when it's going down. Respectfully. That's just how it's always been. Not just in these street organizations and tribes. I'm talking about in the fucking army, bro. Los Angeles is Los Angeles. Can't nobody help LA. I beg to differ. Pay attention. It's just not an attack on the parents, OGs, but it's attack on the kids. How many high schools been shut down? What have they took out of the education on what could be taught? This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm watching from Baltimore, Maryland. BKA, be more careful. Salute, Divine Solar Child. And you got niggas like Wack making all the OGs and the ones that's been through it look crazy, and the young ones looking at them crazy for that too. Nah, them little niggas in the streets don't be on fucking with no nigga like Wack. Them niggas already know what's up with that nigga. My young homies been up on it. Facts again. So all my young homies function with that's them. The 40s are under a major indictment. This is why the feds are there, bro. It's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Remember, Christopher Love, boy, he been real tight with the 40s. Even CS2 back pulled up in the 40s. Oh yeah, it's nasty.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, CS2
confidential source himself.
About 2 years ago, pulled up on the 40s, nigga. That's a fact.
And 2 years
and
later,
they got all this gang activity. Hey, listen, if y'all got family from 40s and y'all still in the street doing illegal shit, I'd stay away from there if I was y'all. You know what I'm saying? And Trump is giving ICE to Carte Blanche to knock us down. Facts. We got to do work. Dirty heat beats. The number one comment that we should be hearing isn't excuses. It's we got to do work. That's it. Fuck who's to blame. You should feel responsible if you're from this culture in making sure you're present. I'm not saying go to get these niggas no guns. I'm not saying going to go take them to put in work, but in giving them guidance, mentorship. Hey, don't you be rapping and shit, my nigga. Why you out here like that? You flamed up, big ass burner hanging out your shit. Bro, put that up. Come get in my car. I'm going to take you to the stew. We're going to go to the stew, nigga. Let me show you something, my nigga. You got an opportunity to do something more than just this. Some of these niggas don't have that talent. This is what you utilize your influence for. I don't know how to do plumbing, but maybe you do. Southern Force. So maybe that's your way to have a positive influence and show these kids something else. You niggas want to hold these niggas accountable when the crackers already gonna do that. The government is already gonna hit these niggas with indictments. When are you niggas gonna say, you know what, this is our communities, our villages, each one teach one. Let's get back out here and build. Let's build mentorships. Let's get to this real quick. So, I was telling y'all about the gang stuff earlier, right? The history and all of that. So, understanding cultural comparisons between LA sets and African tribal structures. Groups belonging based on neighborhood family identity. That's the LA sets, Crips and Bloods. These are nothing but groups based on neighborhoods, family, and identity. The Hausa and Fulani tribes in West Africa are ethno-linguistic cultures. It's the exact same thing. You want to know what the difference is? They still own their land and make the laws, so it's not criminalized. So while all you niggas want to talk about that being in a gang, which is the label that these peoples put on, the police and city hall labeled us as gangs to criminalize. So you assuming that and pointing, oh, that's something negative and looking at it with negative connotations, that's really the media that's painted that picture to you. Now, us these people from the community participate in criminality is not good, right? Especially when the criminality is against our own people. So high value group, the LA Crips and Bloods are high value within groups. And so are the African tribes, high value within family and clan. They exist, but informally. The LA Bloods and Crips, the Fulani and the Hausa tribe, they're clear structured elders, chiefs, councils. The Crips and the Bloods, turf defense. The Fulani and the Hausa tribe, community defense and pastoral security. Informal economy, the LA Bloods and Crips. Agriculture, trade, and herding, the African tribe. So Crips and Bloods largely formed out of trauma, exclusion, and survival. Exclusion from who? From the government, from this country, from jobs, programs. This is the problem. This is a result of the problem. Until we start focusing on the core issue, we will continue to have these kind of problems. So they evolved. So where else the Hausa and Fulani tribes evolved over centuries with formalized governance, traditions, agriculture, commerce, and interstate relations. A lot of what we do, the culture, the traditions, hood days, and all of these different things commemorate our ancestors and elders within our community. The same as any other tribe in Africa or the indigenous tribes that was here, already here when these people came over here and exterminated half our people. It's the exact same thing. But these people criminalize it, and because being a criminal is looked upon as being, I remember Martin Luther King and them were marching knowing they was going to jail. And they took pride in being criminals. That's where the beginning to look at criminals as saviors and heroes and with strength first started. Those were demonstrations because these laws were never meant for our people, bro. So, root challenges facing inner city youth. Before solutions, we must identify core systemic issues. The generational trauma is still exists, and it's even worse than when they started these tribes and gangs, right? This is what you old niggas and claiming y'all OGs are supposed to be doing. Not taking these niggas on field trips, helping work to heal the generational trauma. Educational inequities. Making sure that the redlining and the proper funding at these schools is going on because it's inequity, especially with this shit Trump got going on. If you're in a Democratic city, I'm quite sure your education budget has been cut since Trump been in office. Unemployment, that's been the issue when we started, and it's still one. Distrust of authority. Breakdown of family and community structures. This is the key part, bro. Without the family and community structures, we're going to continue to have these families. So we had said the OGs and niggas like me, that's OYGs. We got a lot of blame to carry. But where are these kids' families? Uncles, aunties, mothers, fathers, grandparents, brothers that aren't gangbangers, that know better, that care about these kids. Obviously, they're absent, right? The community structures that we had when South Los Angeles was predominantly black have been torn down. I watched them, all of the black businesses Benji's, Skip's Market, on 38th and Vermont, BB Barbecues right there on 38th and Vermont, B&O on Jefferson, all of the black-owned businesses, even my homeboy Brimbone, rest in peace, his mom and pops owned the press shop right there on 38th and Vermont, right? All black-owned businesses. My block was 90% black people, right? Working. Our parents used to work at those factories, grandparents. They shut those factories down, bro. Leaving the communities without working jobs. Mothers is mad. The wives are mad. The money ain't coming in. A lot of divorces come. The family structure is being decimated right before our face. Then come crack cocaine, the crack epidemic. But to break down the family and community structure is something that those that aren't gang members can work on consistently with those in their community, bro. Y'all can't keep pointing fingers if you ain't going to be part of the solution. I don't want to hear about who's to blame. We all to blame. We only strong as our weakest link, bro. And everybody can't be saved. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. I get that. But that shouldn't stop you from reaching out to find those that will drink the water. Water being symbolic for wisdom. The lack of economic capital. Well, I don't even think that's a problem anymore, bro. We're making $1.8 trillion grossing, not profiting, but grossing. $1.8 trillion annually. It's about what we doing with the money. When we make it, we got to pay bills, right? We got to pay taxes. So all of that ain't profit, but that which is profit. Shit, I'm finna buy me a Bugatti. Fuck that. I ain't investing into that community. I left the hood for a reason. Thinking just like a good nigga. I watched my homeboy Keyshawn Johnson get $22 million as the #1 overall draft in the 1996 in the NFL. He invested it into Los Angeles. Jobs, creating hundreds, if not thousands of jobs. Till today, families are able to take care of themselves because of that brother not running, bro. Reinvest. When you find success, reinvest in that into your community, bro, to make it better. To keep that black dollar circulating in the community. But you'd rather take your winnings to a community who don't give two fucks about, probably even hates you. Your neighbors despise. You got a bigger house than them and you're black with all of the roadblocks set in front of you. You got a bigger house than them. How the hell, do you know how humiliating that is? The advantages they had for 400 years, and you move on their block and got a better line than them. A bigger house. They envy that. So those in your community that you done moved up to in the burbs don't even like you. Yet you spending your money with businesses without your best interests at hand. Good old house, nigga. Keep it on in masses pocket. So I don't believe lack of economic capital is still an issue. Obviously, it's poverty. We're at the bottom of the economic pyramid, but we're grossing, we're working, we're generating money. Now we just got to start moving as one economic power and investing it into infrastructure of our own, communities of our own. So, principles for a new movement. Any long-term strategy must be legal and constitutional. rooted in community leadership, focused on empowerment, not romanticizing criminal behavior, multi-layered education, economics, governance, health, accountability, and transparency, and intergenerational, meaning elders and youth. When you read Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch papers, perfectly summarize what the issue is today. Keep them fighting, old versus young. Keep them fighting, old versus young. Females versus males. Light skin versus dark skin. And Christians versus Muslims versus Hebrews, Israelites, right? All of these divides, right? And they'll be able to control and keep us mentally enslaved, psychologically enslaved for hundreds of years. Still effective. We still stuck with Willie Lynch syndrome. Let me finish this. We need to strengthen culture, identity, and education. Practical actions. After-school programs focus on literacy, STEM, history, and leadership. Mentorship programs pairing elders with the youth. Workshops on financial literacy and civic education. Conflict resolution and emotional wellness training. Replace hopelessness with knowledge. Confidence with self-respect. Build economic foundations. Cooperative economics. Community-owned businesses, co-op, where we share assets. Hey, me and you, Southern Force, look, I got 15,000, you got 30. So listen, that's double the percentage I got. You keep 66% of the business. I'm gonna take a third. We gonna start this business with that money you got. You believe in it? Yeah. Okay. Well, instead of us getting a loan, we gonna put our own money so we don't have high interest rate, which is gonna mean we got better, less overhead and more profits to split from the beginning if successful, right? Pooling savings for mutual benefit. Yes, if done correctly, investing in things like Broadway Financial, which is the biggest Black-owned bank in the United States. Why don't none of us bank with Broadway Financial? On the stock market, you can find them as BYFC, right? Or similar community finance institutions. They can help credit flow into Black small businesses and home ownership the more assets they acquire. So say right now that 1.8 trillion, say every Black American, including the house niggas that's mentally fucked up, by happy chance or whatever, move all of our money out of these other banks and into Broadway Financial. That means Broadway Financial would have the liquidity of $1.8 trillion coming through their credit report. So they're able to give out lines of credit for our small business, for Black small businesses with a lower tax rate. Lower interest rate. They'll be able to give more home loans out to Black people. So that is something that we can do today that could change the terrain for the next generation so that we not dealing with this again in the next generation. But it requires strong governance, accountability and transparency, and community access to capital without exploitative interests. Action steps: establish a community savings and credit union. Provide small business incubators. Leverage CDFIs, community development financial institutions. Political power and representation. Instead of forming a militia, is more actionable and legal to elect and support Black candidates, engage in voter registration and civic education, form policy advocacy groups, and build alliances with existing political and social justice organizations. Real power comes from influencing laws, budget priorities, and criminal justice reform. Community safety without violence. Instead of illegal militias, you can have neighborhood peace brigades trained in de-escalation. Sound like the intervention workers to me. First aid, conflict mediation with legal certifications and cooperation with locals, violence interruption teams like Cure Violence, trauma-informed policing partnerships. These are evidence-based alternatives that reduce violence without risking legal jeopardy. So we would be policing our own. We would be able to determine what we're going to accept and not accept in our communities, and it can be uniform across these inner cities in the world. Crips and Bloods are not just in LA. They're in 41 different states, nationally, and even internationally now. Africa, Japan. The influence of the Crips and Bloods who started from struggle is international. And this display at the Martin Luther King parade is now the new representation of what y'all homeboys died for. What y'all homeboys got life for. I don't know about you, but if I'm in the Philippines, or I'm in Japan, or I'm in Africa, and I seen the strength and the unity in the Bloods and Crips, and then I witnessed that weak ass shit we seen at the King Parade, I look at y'all totally different, bro. Because y'all ain't rocking y'all flags right. Land, agriculture, and self-sufficiency. Yes, Black Americans can and do buy land domestically and internationally for farming. Community centers, housing cooperative, and small-scale manufacturing. Addressing social and intergenerational issues. Understanding the generation gap. Youth often reject elders due to distrust from past failures. That's what we're seeing, bro. Elder authority must be earned through support and not enforced. So if you one of these ignorant niggas, I was watching
exactly what I was saying, dudes.
Yeah, I was watching exactly what you were saying. I was watching my boy earlier today. Shout out to the FBA. I've always fucked with his shit, right? And he had a brother up there from Baltimore. Was it Baltimore or Maryland, somewhere? And he was talking about if he had it his way, he'll have the police put together a force of Black police only and allowed them to beat up the gang members that were out, these kids that were out there fighting. Imagine me as a Black man wanting to give the police the slave catcher just because they're Black. All skin folks ain't kin folks. But imagine me wanting to give the authority of the police to physically assault and beat our children and delegate that authority, but not have the courage to step up into the community yourself and do what you think needs to be done. Imagine that. So joints, you got to have joint storytelling sessions. This is bonding with these young dudes, bro. Leadership apprenticeships, teaching them how to lead, how to be strong, how to make decisions by themselves, and share community projects. Respect between genders. Respect isn't automatic, it's taught and modeled. focus on healthy masculinity workshops, women's leadership councils, family support programs, healing the trauma, community healers, counselors, faith leaders, and mental health professionals are essential. And a map for progress, community listening in all of these programs, education and youth empowerment programs, economic infrastructure, co-ops, finance and entrepreneurship, political engagement and representation, legal safety and community protection initiatives, health and wellness networks, land acquisition and sustainable development, strategic partnerships, public, private, and nonprofit, measurement, data and accountability, cultural revival, and legacy. Black sovereignty and empowerment is possible, but through legal, economic, political, educational, and cultural systems, not through illegal militias. Institutions like community credit unions and finance entities can help redirect capital back into Black communities. Holistic empowerment requires addressing trauma, identity, education, economics, and governance simultaneously. Building a thriving Black future means building systems of strength, not systems of destruction. So, we're going to see what the people talking about. I'm going to drop the thing in case anybody has something constructive to add, or even if you want to vent a little bit. We don't want to be too heavy on the venting, but if I was disgusted, I'm quite sure, and I participate in this kind of buffoonery, and so I understand it. But this is what they're taught. So what we're saying is we failed these kids. Y'all want to blame them. Well, what's the core issue? Why aren't we blaming ourselves and figuring out exactly what we can do to change this mentality and the terrain so we don't have to do that? Vernon, 54, Slauson, right. Vernon, 54, Slauson, Florence. Both of you right. They got to see it. Chico V-Rock, big fact. CS2 has not did anything for no community. No give backs, no schools, no programs, nothing. But yet these people listen to his contradictions. This goes for Eddie Boy, 600, all of them. Nobody has to show for it. They ain't got nobody has nothing to show for. Come on, Cardi B is not a brim. Hey, C-Mac a blood now. I guess if you know, you know. LA gonna help ourselves. You must not be tapped in, bro. Because if you was, you would know. And I ain't gonna, name drop the homies and all of that. And when he left, he got debriefed by the people, right? CS2 back a turncoat. That's a fact. Stay away from the 40s. They are under attack from all sides. Yeah, bro. Remind you now, they done got them cases on the 60s. CS2 and 600 slide right into the 40s with the same play. Divide, lie, and act like they about to put people on just for info. Then they had them attack each other. Damn, that's a fact. Most are expecting others to fix this problem. Only the community collectively can fix this. Hey, Black, salute to you. 100% right. Making it to my 40s in the top 10 murder city. I feel all this, bro. Hey, man, shout out to the Lou. I already know. I think the Lou ain't top 10. The Lou is number 1 right now in homicides per capita. Last I checked, and that was last year, bro. Last year, St. Louis was number 1 murder capital, so I definitely understand. This was a case of you get down where you get mad at, but on the other hand, we definitely got to do better on giving these youngsters the tools and mindset to think better. It takes a village. Fatherhood. Hey, G-Mac, you already know that's why I fuck with you, bro. Because this what you really, this right here is your superpower. You're perfect for building with these kids, not destroying them, trying to get them to think. Salute to you, bro. I would say this goes back to Native American tribalism more than African. Yes, sir. Native American tribes were infiltrated by clans like this. Hey, you know what? That's 100% right, bro. I'm trying to tie it in. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they said if we don't get it together, they will. Fact. GMAC 2-on-1. Yeah, bro. We got to practice restraint and discipline in those situations. Fun fact, gangs in LA started from Italians who hated blacks. No, that's not true, bro. Gang culture was never our culture. No, that's all fact. That's all fake, bro. I don't know who you is. You trolling. COINTELPRO was 100% Italian funded. No, it wasn't, bro. COINTELPRO was federally funded, bro. What are you talking about? The question is, how do you cease a decade worth of trauma from different generations of hurt and envy that made a culture of teaching the new generations this trauma? What systems do we have set up? We do have very few, and you're right. That's nothing easy, bro. If it was easy, voila, it could have been done. It's not easy. But what anything worth having never come easy, bro. And worth having is a world where our seeds don't have to grow up through self-inflicted trauma. A world where they don't have that anxiety, which causes all kind of heart diseases and all kind of other health issues later on in their life. Even those that survive are dying from stress, anxiety. All of those whole properties in our body that create different things that unalive us, bro. We not even Africans for real, or black. Shaking my head. Black power was never stamped. This is a white man's world. Nobody want to say it, and Italians just follow suit. But everyone is racist. Nobody perfect. That sounds like never hold nobody accountable. Everybody racist. That's when you brush it off because you're afraid to hold people accountable for standing on it. If they racist against you, you're not standing on it. And when you're racist against them, you're not holding yourself accountable. We way past that era, bro. Too many parents are glued to their phones instead of thoroughly raising their children. Agreed. Shortstop, you answered the question. What do we have set up to show our youth it's always another way? Right. We need to build that infrastructure. If we don't have it, we need to start having meetings and making sure we figure out what we got to do to get it. Fuck LA, our sanctuary state. We are leaving, getting the fuck out of here after 45 years. Ain't raising our kids here. In fact, we getting as far away from Cali and the West Coast as possible. Do you think that's the answer? Run from it? What was that? Damian H. Damian H., you believe that running from the problem is the answer. Wow. I guess isolated situations play a big part. Yeah, you're right. My grandma didn't sell drugs. MSOG Mozzie, I didn't say your grandma sold drugs. Shortstop, you have to know the history of it all before you can proceed with a future. Hey, I think you're right about that, but you talking, I hope you're not assuming that Shortstop don't know. Me and Shortstop talk every day, and we talk about all of this. So I'm quite sure he knows about it. Do you know about it? Because without giving them a way or something to do or live for, then we will be talking in circles. Facts. A lot of dudes get a check, give a speech to their homies here and there, but they are not helping. Facts. Black, we are all to blame. Facts. Creative win. That's the truth. My grandma came from the South and moved to California and said it was the racist place she ever lived. We doing exactly what they want us to do. The game set up to keep us in the loop. Facts. Keep us in the loop. Bingo. I live to get gray hair and gain knowledge of self. Peace to the chat. This is a dope show. Hey, Devin, the divine solar child, salute to you. We lost our village mentality. Facts, we need to bring that back. Heavy on the village mentality. Let's hashtag that in the chat. Let's make that an official hashtag started by Black. Heavy on hashtag heavy village mentality. And then speak on how Brett Favre robbed poor Black people of their welfare and a fraud and still free stunt privilege. Fact. Yep, Deuce, people don't know Central Avenue was lit. No, that's a fact. Back in the day, they didn't want our people in Hollywood, so we created like Black Wall Street. Love to the mighty ancestors. Fact. This is the importance of fathers. Fact. Smoke session. Salute. Many of us don't even know or speak to our own neighbors. That's a fact. Black crazy true. Black is because you don't know your neighbors. This dude trolling, bro. Papa forever crazy, but for sure. Fun fact, Black founded LA. You got a great show, a great page, brother. I got to get back to work. Lunch break is over. MSOG_Mozzie6435. Thank you for the compliment. Be sure to subscribe if you ain't already subscribed. At this point, the history has been overshadowed by individuals with a different agenda. Facts. And when you have a certain backing that can make you look more gangster, then you are people gravitate off the line. Facts. My pops had an arcade off Central in Manchester, in Swan Hood, across from the Chamber Show, the Chamber Shoe Shine Parlor. Okay, East Side. Dirty Heat B, salute. Message Mozzie, door always open, fam. We are mighty beings, y'all. Mighty. That's why I told, we can't do, man. I never want to hear none of y'all talk about what the fuck we can't do. Nigga, I know what I've overcome in my life. If I overcome that and I came out smelling like roses, 26 years incarcerated of my life, I'm only 47. Add to that, you're not even a teenager to 13. So that's 39 years. That means 8 years on the street as an adult. 8 years on the streets as an adult. Make it make sense. If I could overcome that, and I'm working on nigga virtual reality mobile apps and nigga non-profit organizations, I'm a CEO 3 times over. What the fuck can't we do? We can do anything we put our mind to. If there's a will, there's a way. Californians don't know their history. They will go along with whatever narrative they are fed. We are still being fooled with infiltration, tempered education, our true identities. At the end of the day, our people got to find a way to wake people up because these devils prey on the weak-minded. California was named after Queen Khalifa. Facts. Our ancestors were here and everywhere. Facts. Facts. Did you know that Queen Khalifa was also queen of the Boja? Nah, I didn't. That's what I didn't know. I knew about Queen Khalifa in California being named after her, but I never knew about Queen of the Baja. Damn, the Willie Lynch letters. Yeah. Yeah, Papa, my pops taught me the truth about us. Facts. Lit. Lafayette, salute. Make sure y'all banging that like button on your way in. I think people have the right ideas. They just trust the wrong people. Sad part is it's always somebody with the same complexion selling us out. We got to tighten up for these things to be effective. Is we talking about cleanup season? You know what I'm saying? White folks and Arabs gave you that name. White folks and Arabs gave us what name? Change and educate your mind and you will see who the true enemy is. And I know who the true enemy is. Black liberation flag, and it ain't no damn Italians. You know what I'm saying? It ain't white people. You want to know who it is? First and foremost, we're going to start with the United States government. Outside, add to that fact, we're going to talking about the Zionists. We're going to talk about the Rockefellers. We're going to talk about the Rothschilds, those who set these systems in place and run all of these co-ops, right? Designed to keep us at the bottom so they can continue to exploit us in every facet of life. Labor, intellectual property, music, culture. They exploit everything, nigga, and they benefit. That's why they're still the 1% controlling the world resources, using these politicians as puppets. I know who my enemies is. It could be a white motherfucker from Virginia, Italian, nigga, European, English. He might not even like people that's my complexion and color. That comes from ignorance. Doesn't make him my enemy. He can feel how he want to feel as long as he doesn't put that into action with physically harming me and my people. I don't give a fuck about how he feel. Shit, I might not like him. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, ignorant white supremacists that don't like blacks aren't our issue. They don't control the motherfucking resources and the military and the economic. They don't control none of that. They just got hired as ICE workers, bro, under Trump for supporting Trump. Oh, I know y'all poor white trailer park trash. Y'all just want to be doing better than the niggas. Nobody wants to be at the bottom. This is a white country, so he plays on that. I'm gonna give you all jobs, ICE, immigration, and give you a license to go out here and racially discriminate in inner city communities on blacks and browns. Nasty work. Slave patrol never changed. They just hired turncoats. Fact. These dudes all over Instagram looking like, why is we even doing this? LA gangs really corny as fuck. Yeah, that's how it's looking right now. This is why I say, as black folks, do not get involved in the psyop. The pipeline is real. Facts, bro. Thank you for having a productive conversation. St. Louis native, we've been number one for years. Yeah. And that's not nothing to be. LA shot caller, salute. That's nothing to be proud about. It's really sad. I'm just stating facts from research. Well, I researched and discovered different. This LA shot caller, you're a part of the problem. I don't think so. Before I blame the kids, I'm going to blame us for not leading them right. We have to do better as gays, bro, pause. No homo, no diddy. OGs and double OGs. Lack of proper leadership leads to chaos and trauma. P-Funk and no funk, I'm always with you, homie. LA shot caller, fuck LA. He can't be from Los Angeles talking like that. No, he was talking about moving their family out of LA. So I guess so. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sure. I don't know who the person was. If you scared of Cali, then get the fuck out there. Spirit Wonder on him. Yeah, that was some scary shit. We're gonna run to another state. Exactly. As soon as this shit get hot, the kitchen get hot, you run into another state. Nasty work. Them kids all over Instagram don't even want to fight, trying their hardest to keep up with them lame ass traditions. I don't believe the traditions is lame, honestly. You know what I'm saying? As we were comparing to those other tribes, they're territorial and they have those same different things. The point of me even using these other tribes being legitimized by the laws because they run the country, they own the land. So they make the laws. The only difference between their tribes and traditions is the legitimacy in their country and delegitimacy and criminalization in ours. But that might have went over your head, bro. You're supposed to be territorial, right? People coming into your community, not knowing what their intentions is. If they have ill intentions, especially when they got ill intentions. I don't give a fuck if they look like me. That don't mean that they are me. COINTELPRO significantly undermines civil rights movement in LA. Facts. Hi, Mohill. Star Child. I'm tired of hearing about all these children and women disappearing on the East Coast in Maryland and the whole United States of America. Y'all, nobody talking about it. Bro, I'm going to do a deep dive on that. Devin, the Divine Scholar, Solar Child. Because I know in Georgia is really bad, and I believe what they're doing is they're stealing organs from our sisters, predominantly women. Y'all do know about the HeLa gene, right? Let me see. I forgot her name. That's crazy. How I forget her name? Let me see. Y'all in the chat, if you know about the Gila gene that was found, I think her name was Henrietta. Let me see. The Gila gene was from Henrietta Lacks. That was her name. Y'all Google that. Hela, like Gila, but it's similar to healer. And check out the properties that the black goddess or sisters got. You know what I'm saying? Our queens got within their bloodline. I'm tired of hearing, yeah, I'm going to do a deep dive on that, though. You've been expanding your content, and I respect it. You have one of those brilliant minds, and whether you know it or not, people respect the brother standing on his word and speaking up for the people. ECA, EK, Issei Uno. Hey, listen, bro. I appreciate the fact that that you've been keeping up with us and you're witnessing the evolution. I just hope that I can live up to the y'all expectations and continue to grow. If the Lord permits me, I already got like Tiny Draws, Scandalous Los Angeles. Man, they be pushing me. Y'all wonder why I ain't been covering the Rich Grinder fight with Bosco 100? Because that shit is not even constructive. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
That's a fact.
I don't give a fuck that these two, thank God they didn't kill each other. They got an issue, they handle it, that's their business. Oh, he's a mark. I don't care who's tough and who's not. Amongst each other, it's real easy to be tough against another black nigga. But how many of y'all want to be tough against the government that keeps imposing shit like this? The police, they're imposing taxes in LA, high-ass taxes in California, but for the police to be out here and protect these families that aren't gang members, and they're not doing it. As a taxpayer, that you should have a problem with that. And ain't nobody doing #village mentality, man. We need that back for real, man. But yeah, man, we trying to grow. Yeah, that's why a lot of our people come up missing organs. Yeah. Facts. Who gives a fuck? Dirty EBs. Yeah. Yes, Henrietta. And she didn't even know her body was being used. Yeah, back then it was legal for them to use her body for research. Black women and men being used for research. It's crazy. But look, Southern Forest, go ahead and take us out with a final word. We ain't gonna run it out. Yeah. This was some good content. I thank you for coming up here and building with me, King.
Of course, bro. All right, make sure I got this camera right, man. Yeah, man. This is one of the main things I be. Me as a case manager, you already know, Deuce. I be doing a lot of boots on the ground for us, dealing with poverty and people who come out of the communities, whether it's from the hood or from the trailer park. You know, that's what I do. I make sure that those resources are there to get them back on their feet, get them into the onto the the right track. By that being said, man, this right here, what we just witnessed, is reason why that they thinking that we're basically a menace. We're basically those the ones that need to be controlled, populated, and gentrified out of the neighborhoods more and more. Yeah, I got to understand they're having a smart LA come about. So guess what that means? It means more RICOs, more rating of houses, more houses going for sale, and more property that the racial society can grab away from you, away from your community. So that way they can keep on building and adding on to their smart LA. You see what they're doing in other communities when they're building these stadiums. This thing has also occurred in Dallas and Arlington. So we know it firsthand down south. Man, we got to wake up. We got to get focused on, quit trying to focus on making each other enemies and really reveal who's been the enemy of us from day one. The government, the law enforcement. the ones who built the laws to enslave us, not to protect us. These are the people that we need to be attacking, but it starts here into our community by building that alliance, building that bridge with each and every one of us. The strength in fucking numbers. If we don't get those numbers together, our strength is just going to diminish away, and we're going to get swept away under the history books. I'm gonna land that one.
Hey, look, salute to everybody. We gotta go. I gotta go shut down the shop, and pick up Maria, man. She had me drop her off, and I feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Ending this here because I'd rather spend time with her than y'all. Even though I enjoyed this, I'm gonna choose her over y'all every time. Respectfully, though. Salute, salute to the. Thanks everybody who came through. Damu Kiwe.